Hi everyone, it's Shannon here, and welcome to the Hero Arts February Collections video hop. In today's video, I'm going to create this bold and colorful Easter card featuring several products from the new Charming Easter collection. We're going to start out with this absolutely staple for Easter cards. This is the new Egg Infinity die set. There are 12 nesting egg dies in this set. I've grabbed 2 egg sizes and I'm going to die cut them out of some Hero Arts colored cardstock. I have 5 different shades, basically kind of a pastel rainbow. Now that I have my eggs die cut out, I'm going to grab this other new product. This is the Color Layering Decorative Egg Stencil set. There are 4 stencils in this set. The first one allows you to ink blend plain eggs, and then the 3 additional stencils allow you to ink blend patterns or designs over your eggs. So I'm going to start simply by ink blending over the bottom of my eggs, creating a little gradation with a slightly darker ink than the cardstock. So the cardstock is mist here, and I'm ink blending over with aquatic ink. After I finish that little blend at the bottom, I'll then position one of the pattern stencils over the egg, kind of line up the egg opening with the stencil, or the stencil opening with the egg, and then I'll simply ink blend. And this time I'm ink blending a little bit more heavy-handed than when I ink blended that gradation, so we have more contrast and that pattern really pops and shows up. And then we're left with these really beautiful patterned eggs. Now we're moving on to our next pair of eggs. Here we have eggs die cut out of kiwi cardstock, and we're ink blending with Fresh Lawn ink. You can see here I'm also using a grip mat that really holds my die cuts in place beautifully and my stencil in place while I ink blend these so they're not shifting around on me, which is awesome. We're moving on to our second stencil with pattern here. You can see this one has stripes and little flowers. So cute. I love that there are different patterns in this set, so you get a nice variety with your eggs. And then we're moving on to our yellow eggs here. These were die cut out of canary cardstock, and now I'm ink blending with our Butter Bar ink. After I ink blend that gradation over the eggs, I'll then position the third and final pattern stencil from the set over my yellow eggs and ink blend. This one has a beautiful kind of floral or leaf design, and again, I love the different variety of patterns. It really adds a lot more interest to our card. Now that I've finished ink blending these, we'll move on to our orange eggs. These were die cut out of papaya cardstock, and now I am ink blending over them in tangerine. Now that we've ink blended all 3 patterns, I'm going to kind of repeat the patterns here. So starting back again with our first pattern first stencil that we used for the blue eggs, and just ink blend my 2 orange eggs in this one as well. And I do want to point out that even though I am using these stencils with the Infinity Eggs die set, these stencils can actually be used all on their own, because if you may remember, the first stencil, which I'm not actually using for today's card, but the first stencil in this set is a plain egg stencil. So you can actually ink blend your egg onto your card front and then use the pattern stencils over that base ink blended egg to add a design to those eggs as well. So really great stencil set. You can definitely get a lot of different looks out of this. So now I'm finishing up my last 2 pair of eggs here. These eggs were die cut out of peony cardstock, and I'm ink blending with Azalea Core ink. And we're back to that beautiful stripe and floral stencil. And now we have all of our eggs done and ready to go. We're going to move on to our sentiment. I have the new Happy Easter Stampin' Cut. Love this sentiment set. Use the Easter word dies to die cut my kind of main part of my sentiment. I die cut Easter out of white cardstock, and then I die cut the shadow layer for the word out of Hero Arts vellum, and I'm just going to adhere the 2 together here. So we have this awesome stacked sentiment with the vellum really helping to draw your eye into that sentiment. Then I'm going to grab one of the sub-sentiments from that clear stamp set included in the Happy Easter Stampin' Cut, and I'm going to stamp it onto this A2 panel of some green cardstock. I'm going to heat emboss, so I did apply some anti-static powder, inked it up in Hero Arts a unicorn white pigment ink. That's because I'm going to do some white embossing, and I love to do my white embossing with Hero Arts Pigment Ink as the base. Pigment ink takes longer to dry, so it's nice and wet and will pick up or hold your embossing powder, so it works really beautifully as a embossing ink. But the white color of the ink also really helps to camouflage any breaks that you might have in your embossing powder. Now we're going to do something really fun. I felt like I really wanted to make this background kind of look like grass, so I just grabbed a Copic marker that's a little bit darker than the cardstock, and I'm just adding little grassy marks, really, just kind of like what you would do in grade school, to the background of, or to this panel. And I just love the way this looked. It just adds a nice little touch, a little texture to the background, a little interest. And I thought it turned out really good. So now I have everything kind of laid out here. I'm going to grab all of my sentiment, really my word die, and all my eggs. And you can see that I have designs and things on the back of some of my eggs because I will save all of my cardstock, my colored cardstock scraps here, and use the other side, and they're perfect sized for these eggs, so because you didn't need very much to make them. Added some foam adhesive to the backside of the eggs and the Easter word die cut, and now I'm just going to stick it to my card front. And then once we get that all kind of stuck down, we will actually be done with the card. We'll carefully remove the press and seal. Oh, I have one little stray egg that didn't get quite stuck to the foam adhesive. We couldn't quite reach it. So I'll just add some liquid glue to the back side of that and stick it right down to the front. And that will actually complete our fun Easter card. Hold up to the camera here so you get a good look. I love all the colors. I love how bold this is. I, of course, just used ink with these color layering stencils, but think how awesome this would look if you combine these stencils with a texture medium like Hero Wax or Hero Paste. I hope you guys enjoyed today's card and video, and please be sure to check out the other videos shared in today's video hop. And as you are hopping along, leave a comment in the comments section for each video because we will be giving away a $50 gift certificate to a lucky commenter. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.